In the last video, we left off on adding the benefits section of the design here. The next part will actually entail integrating this why promote oral health section. There's a few kind of quirks I'll have to deal with. Again, we'll have this slant area, these floating images. My plan with these are to kind of, as you scroll, the pace at which they scroll will be different from each. So the one will come in faster than the other, just kind of give it a little, if you're familiar with the parallax design pattern. Not over the top like many sites do, but this is just kind of a small element where that might come into play. I'm not 100% sure that'll happen, but we'll see. We'll add this content custom fields, and then we'll deal with this background image as well. So let's jump into our design as it is. We need to add a whole new section. So I'm going to add a new content dash, I think it's called, maybe we'll call it promote oral health, or just the why. We'll just call it why, maybe to make it more general. Okay, so let's add that file. Right click on template parts here. I'll create a file called content-y.php, and we need to add that in our global homepage, which we called front-page here. So we'll add that under benefits, since that's the section we ended off last time. So that's added. Keeping the process going, I'll just continue to make a similar file that's called Y for our SaaS, and we'll need to import that on our main style landing page styles. So we'll do that. Y. Okay, then we need to actually give this thing some content. So I'm going to copy this section. There's a ton of code I don't need, but I'm going to grab it for now because we're kind of following a convention the way we're doing this. And I'm going to delete, honestly, just the content for now to keep things clean. So all this, and probably this stuff, we'll probably have to add it back, but I have not done so yet. So that's for that div, that's for that div. Let's call this section Y, and I'll save it. I'm already going to go ahead and create PHP tags up here for our variables that we'll need from our custom fields. I don't plan on making these images easily updatable, simply because I don't anticipate them changing a lot. The one at Jamie might, but the branding and everything else I can update on my end. Since we work pretty closely together, it's not such a big deal. But in a real world scenario, I might make those completely custom for the client, where they can use WordPress admin to upload the image itself. Why don't we add this content for now, and we'll come back to kind of the more intricate details. So let me go to our interface, go to the dashboard. I'll have to log in. Down to field groups. Let's create a new one called landing page why promote oral health. And I mean, your naming conventions can be more generalized. I like to be pretty explicit, just for the sake of, if this list grew to many, it gets kind of like very disorganized over time. I learned the hard way with that, so you might consider doing the same. So we'll do, let's look at our design as we're doing this. I'll through the window over here. Let's have a landing page, why promote oral health title. And I'm going to get rid of the landing page prefixed because Jamie won't need that. That's just a text field. Then we'll add another field That is y promote, or we'll do this again, landing page y, if I could type y promote, oh man, content. And this one I'm going to make a WYSIWYG because we have some bold text here. We could basically do a text area, and she could write basic HTML, but I don't really need her to know how to do that or expect her to know how to do that. So we'll just bypass that for now and keep things streamlined. And if she wanted to add links later on, it's still possible with the WYSIWYG editor. So let's do visual and text. Let's do the basic toolbar, mainly because the full bar just takes up so much space. I'm going to go ahead and initialize that option. And I think realistically that's all we need for these custom fields. We do need to set the page template to be the home page like we've been using. And I'll also bypass the content editor just in case that thing shows back up like it did before. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab these variables and use my little snippet here to grab them, put them in. Okay, so that should be generally what we need. Let's go ahead and input that content so we can make sure it's working. I'll go to the page we're working on, our home page. Let's copy over what she has, promote, or what we have in the design. And I'll add this. And I will make this should add a strong tag if you just highlight it, click B. Yeah, cool. One thing that's weird is that is on the top, and I'm thinking we need to order these better. Let me refresh. It might go down at the bottom. No, okay. So this has, to set the order of these, I mean, you can drag and drop. That only happens, I think, on a user basis though. So if you want that to affect every user on your install, you can change that setting. If you go into each group itself, there's actually a order number. It's zero index. So zero index means it starts at 0 and then you count to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It's just like an array if you're used to programming at all. So our first one we probably want to be is the header itself. So let's give that a 0 to start. It's already set. The next one is the lifestyle call out. So we'll give this a 1 down at the bottom here. Make sure you update it. And the benefits will be 2. And then finally, our new section is why promote oral health will be 3. Okay. You can feel free to add a description for each as well. I mean, it's on my end, I know what they are, so I don't necessarily need to, but if you are scrolling through a ton of custom field groups, it can be useful. Okay, so I think now if we go back to our home page, it's still kind of out of order. Huh, okay. That used to work for me. Okay, well, ignore what I said. Unless it's a little glitch, who knows. Okay, so with that content in place, we can go ahead and output it in our theme. Let's go ahead and do that in our new section div here. Create, change this class to Y real quick. And I want to make sure, I want to go ahead and comment this out for now. I don't know that I'll need it, but I might with this extra content we'll need. So let's go back to this one. Let's kind of copy the way we've been naming the title and benefits. And kind of keep the naming convention going. So we'll just put Y title, command click to do 2 cursors. And then we can do landing page, why promote oral health title. And then we'll do the same with this with the content. So just to verify, there we go. Yay. Okay, so looking at our design, looks like we have another kind of split column layout, so maybe a half and half. So we'll do the column medium 6 class again to get this thing to shift the right way. First we need to wrap everything in a row to do the flexbox portion. I'm just going to delete this. We'll add it back if I need it. And then I need this div in particular to have the column medium. Okay, I'm using Emmet, so we'll do this. 6.colXL. So if you, I don't know if you use, I mean, in most text editors now this is available, but this plugin is super handy if you don't want to write HTML all the time. You just write the class name, there's shorthand properties. If you look up Emmet, E-M-M-E-T-T, I think it's spelled. And then you just tab and it creates that HTML for you. It's a super nice little time saver for some stuff, especially if you have multiple, say, list items. If you want to do, like, you could do UL, a list, type LI, and then times like however many you need. So you need, like, I don't know, 15. Boom. There you go. And you can even add a class to that. So something like this would be li dot like my class times 15. Boom. Pretty cool. Anyway, sorry for the segue. Let's go ahead and add the other div for now, just to, here I am typing the whole thing again. So 6 colXL. Probably don't need the XS 12. I think it should collapse automatically, but I don't know, it's a little safety thing I do. Okay, so we have our content. It should be shifted over to the left now in the half column layout. We can go ahead and add these images here. I might need to add that as a custom field. I'm not sure. We'll see. So let's do that. I always forget the damn snippet to include an image in your theme, like, directly. So that's why I have this snippets app. I don't know who can remember some of that stuff, but I don't know. It's just not easy for me with all these things to remember. Let's grab, is it this one? No. Here we go. It's a style sheet directory URI, the longest thing ever. So essentially it's going into our theme style sheet directory and then looking for what you declare here. So our style sheet directory essentially is the root path of our theme. So in that case, we need to do assets, images. We can add an alt tag, let's say H2O. Keep this all caps. Drink, logo, and emblem. I can't spell. Okay, so I don't like these width and height attributes. I can add that my own. I can't spell either, so this is S. Is that right? No. So I think we might need to do that, and then we also need to actually provide the right image name. I know I exported these images in this folder. I don't have them in my theme yet, so they're right here though. So let's grab those and copy them into our theme folder. Here I have an alias straight to my site itself, so if you're wondering. So we'll put them in there. First one will be, we'll do the H2O photo. I don't know why I named it that, but. And then let's wrap that in a div because we're gonna have to position it a certain way. Probably do that for the other one as well. What should the class be like? Not class, we'll just do Jamie. And then this one will be logo and emblem. Fairly certain to use the class logo somewhere else, so I don't want to use it again. So I'm going to copy this code as well. Add some space. For the sake of legibility, I will do this. So this one will be, why don't we just add this as the, oh god, what's it called? Alt. And this is called Jamie. All right. So those should show. They won't look anything like our design. And they didn't show. I think it's because I need this. Maybe. There we go. Yeah. So cool. They're there. They're just displaying block, collapsing on each other. That's cool. So I think I'm gonna have to position this whole container around these. So I might do like image wrapper. Keep the parent class on there. Y image wrapper. All right, so there's our columns. This one I don't necessarily need to wrap it in a div. Okay. One thing that's kind of going to be hard, at least I anticipate it to be hard, is getting this entire thing first off skewed and then shifted up behind this. So there's a massive amount of like padding or something pushing this down. First, let's get everything on the screen. I'm gonna get our styles going. We're gonna use a background image for these lemons, and it'll be kind of taking up the whole content pane itself. So we have our Y div. We can just target that by doing this. And the background color will be whatever the hell this is. I have a tool for this, or I could just do this too. Let's see, make sure it's not a gradient. Yeah, so it's that. Undo what I just did here. Okay. So there we go. That's where we're looking right now. Let's also target the Y title and Y content. What did we make all the other ones? 1.6 M. Could easily make this variable, but I am not. That one's huge though. It does not look like 32 pixels. It is apparently. Okay. We're gonna need, I already know we're gonna need to create a div in this guy that's another slant thing. So we'll do Y slant And we'll kind of just mock what we did for the previous set of containers. So I think under our header especially, we can just grab this code especially. I won't need the gradient, but I'll go ahead and paste it here for now. We'll shift everything over. We'll get rid of this, this, and that. Height, I mean, I don't know that it'll need to be, oh crap, yeah, this does not need to be on that. It needs to be on the slant I just created. So Y slant, there we go. It's actually not as hard as I thought. So the height of this needs to be pretty damn massive because we need to shift it up. I wonder if you can just do like 100% or if that'll cause it to cave. No, that's actually decent. So we'll need to do a bit of positioning here. So we'll do like negative. And that didn't do what I wanted at all. Where did it go? Key. That's weird. It just leaves. That's so funny. Unless I'm seeing something. All right, let me do margin. I don't like doing this, but it did work. Way too much, but it did work. Do 122 or something. Where does it meet our design? It goes about to the bottom paragraph. So you can probably see that this design is not matching 100% just yet, but I will go back and fine tune some of that stuff. Like the width of this container, I think is going to have to be a little bit more. So we might have to do that manually instead of use our grid classes, which is cool, but it's just another set of styles to add that I didn't anticipate doing. Not a big deal. Let's just make this even, like 150 for grins. So to add that for sure, we'll do that. Probably add that padding to the bottom back. Yeah, something like so. I mean, to cut this thing off, we'll have to actually probably create a actual height, so we'll have to come back. But we're getting close already. Let's add some padding to the top as well. Not the slant part, but the actual Y content. Or maybe I'll actually have that container that I removed before. I don't really want to add a div though. That's kind of stupid, but I'll just add, I guess I can just grab the container. Like that. Okay. What does our design look like? It's pretty close. And then we need to position. Just notice that's way over like that. So this image is going to be floating kind of outside of our container a bit. So those need to be positioned a specific way. I think our content's fine for now. We probably won't make use of that class, but I'll leave it. So we'll go back to this class that we added, YImageWrapper. I'm going to set that to the position of relative for now, because the contents, which are our images there, need to be adjusted. And we can do that with absolute positioning, which is relative to this container, if that makes sense. I hope so. All right, so our logo is, you know, this is actually, I'm going to add some padding to our content. Let's see how that turns out. Okay, we need more than that. Let's just make some more. And I already know I won't want that on mobile, so we'll do medium. My breakpoint include. Padding right will be 0. Okay, so now I think this image is actually in a good spot. We might need to just kind of move it left a tad. So I'm going to do maybe, let's see what happens when I do this. Okay. So we'll probably do like negative, something like that. We'll set Z index to, I don't know, 10, and then we'll set Jamie's to 11. So it should be over the top. This needs to be absolute as well. And we'll do top, like, I don't know, through right, 0. Sorta close. Not at all. Okay, so we're too far from the top for sure. Something like that. Yeah, too far from the top. Probably do 50. And that's too far now. So 60. Okay. So I'm assuming I'll probably use just some basic jQuery to do this. I mean, there's a library you can add to, I think, like wow.js or something like that, that when you add a class, like as a browser scrolling JavaScript listens, it uses an event listener and listens for this to scroll. These will scroll independently. I think I'll use transform axis on the y-axis. I forget what it's called right at the moment, but I just read that's probably better to use than background positioning, just because it's background positioning is painting the screen each independent pixel you write. So in terms of efficiency, it's just better to do. So we'll probably go that route. For now, I think we're good though. I'm gonna go ahead and do something quirky to add this text, which I'll probably regret later when Jamie wants to update it. But for now, I'm going to add a after class or pseudo selector. We'll make this with 0 content. Position absolute again. Well, actually, the content itself is that. Then we will position this on the bottom, like 10 pixels left, 5 pixels. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm guessing font size, color, white. This needs to come further off the bottom and farther from the left, way farther, not that far. Probably make this like that. The color isn't actually white. It is DO or D0. is italic. Font size is a little big for me, so I think we'll go back to like 0.9 em. That's better. Okay, let's deal with our background image now. Our footer is annoying me, but we'll figure that out. Didn't mean to close that. Let me open that back up, and then we will go to, should it be on the slant thing or the actual header? I think we'll try the header first. So let's try the background URL. We'll call assets images. I think it's just called lemons, but I'll double check that. No repeat. And then we'll do a background position of center bottom. I think we can do that. Background size. I like to set this independently. I think cover might work. Might not even need it, to be honest. Yeah, I know that's not in our, it is in our folder, but it's not the right lemons, so that won't load what we need to. Let's go to our assets folder, figure out what that's called. Lemons background image. Okay. So let's head to copy that into our theme. Background image. Let's see how crazy this looks. So it's not positioned where we want it. Does bottom? That doesn't make sense, does it? Okay. So this is because our slant thing, our div that we made, is taller than the actual section itself. Let's add this to the slant, I think. And we'll actually need to be explicit with this because we still want that background color. So I'll have to pull these out as well. Background. What did I just do? Repeat. Background position. And we'll do this. I don't know why I left that. And bottom. So that made it huge, but it is where we need it. Holy crap. Let's get rid of cover. Shit. Okay, so it's inside our container. But we need it to go. Is it being contained? It has to be. This is position, absolutely. So why is it not? I guess that's just the width of the image. Okay. I mean, I do have my browser scaled mega wide, so maybe I can repeat it. That would be super useful. Repeat X. It just doesn't line up. Darn. So that may take some tweaking. I can go back and edit that image to do what I want it to do, I think. This is not ideal though. Let's see what we can do. No repeat. Background size. What does contain do? Well, shit, maybe that's what we need. All right, we're some reason that's looking okay. Didn't anticipate that. It's not mega awesome, but it's there. And it gets cut off where we want it to. All right. Now this is a huge file, so I might serve, based on the pixel width, I might come back and address that with like Retina screens and stuff, so it serves maybe a lighter weight file. Since it's just a single page site though, I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on. One thing I did notice was before this video started is that this slant in particular, because the image itself was cropped with the slant already, unfortunately the div is still straight across. So as you can see, it's the overflow is cutting it off. To fix that, I think honestly I'm gonna have to go back and take that crop off the image, make the image straight across, and then come back with code and skew the divs so the whole image is aligned with the rest of the content here. I might do that off screen. I mean, it's essentially doing what we just did with this crap, the grape section here, but we'll see how much time I have. So that kind of finishes this section. I want to make sure the height isn't going to be an issue here. Like our footer is kind of bugging me that it's way up here. I don't know if I need to do a sticky footer where it's stuck at the bottom or what, but I also need to address smaller sizes screens, so that's a whole nother can of worms. It's like what happens to these when I scale them, etc. Okay, I think we'll stop there for this video. That's probably a good time to do that. The next one will be finishing up the actual e-commerce section here. I'm still trying to finalize what kind of platform we'll be building that on. It might be all within WordPress, or we might go a route with a Shopify plugin that allows you to kind of use Shopify but on any other site that isn't a Shopify theme. And then we'll finish up with our footer, and then from there go make sure our mobile styles are in check. So join me in the next one. I'll see you then.